Welcome to Book of Jake. I hope you enjoyed the first official podcast. By the way, shout out to Adam Lobo TV for allowing me to use his facilities. I'm still an up-and-coming podcaster, so I'm using my connections and network. I launched Book of Jake. That's the book, Book of Jake, on 19th of December last year. And the reason I tell you this is because a week before the book was launched, I lost my brother-in-law. He was like 61 years old. He contracted glioblastoma, which is like probably the most aggressive form of cancer. A year before that, I remember it hit his family, my sister and his family on the 16th of October. And they had a really tough 1 year. And I saw him, improve, and then it all went downhill, and it was just a really tiring, trying, tough 16, 18 months for my sister and also for the family. So, when you think about that, our mortality, we, to a certain part, to a certain degree, we have control over it, but, something like this, no. So there was one part of during that period where I spoke to him. His name is Tiaga, and I spoke to him and I said, Tiaga, if you had a couple of months, extra months a year, what would you do? He says, I would live my best life. It's really funny because most of us believe that it won't happen to us. I mean, we're all going to go one time or another, but, we believe that we are invincible. Even I, you believe that we're invincible. We believe that it won't happen to us. So this episode, we are talking about health. Why? Because I'm such a proponent of health. I always joke about this. My late father didn't give me much, but he gave me high blood pressure and really bad calves. But that's a story for another day. So I was, I'm diagnosed with familial hyperlipidemia, which means my liver produces 4 times bad cholesterol than normal people. And, I've been hypertensive since I was 19. So, predisposed to all this. My father passed away at 73. My grandfather passed away at 63. I had relatives dropping off at, the 60s. So, but still I did not take heed until one day I went and did a sort of a, I'd buy a house and, they asked you to do this medical checkup, and my blood pressure was 170 or 110. That's like just waiting to explode, and, stroke and heart attack and stuff like that. So I took heed immediately. I stopped smoking, changed my diet and all that. But here's the thing, we think we are really invincible, and we're not. We're not, and we believe that, we're going to live forever. I wish that was true, but we are not. So your health is in your hands. And another thing that I phrase that I use a lot is everything is important. Everything. That means everything is important until you lose your health. Then health becomes the most important, Have you ever noticed that when people are going to take their medical checkup, 1 week before their medical checkup, they'll try to clean up their diet, they'll try to walk, they'll try to fool the doctor, they try to fool themselves. And I'm sure you're one of them. I was one of them also. So again, like I said, you have to start now. No matter where you are, which part of your life you are in, please don't take your health as secondary or as a consolation, because you know why? Health is actually critical, because no matter what you lose, if you lose your health, then you have to start from, there's a terrible place to start, you know what I mean? And already I can feel the aging process. I'm like, 59 this year. Yes, I'm 59 this year, hitting the big 60 in 2025. But already I can feel signs of aging and stuff like that. But because of that, I hit the gym. I take care of my food as much as possible. I got a sweet tooth from hell, but I take care of my food as much as possible. I try to get some. This year is a year of rehab and recovery for me. I'm trying to, it's not enough just looking good, but you have to be able to be agile, mobile. You have to keep your muscle density. The research is out in the last few years that, having muscle is actually anti-aging, and we've been fooled all our lives thinking, oh, cardio is great. Cardio takes care of your heart, but you also have to have muscle to have longevity. We've been fooled by just propaganda. Like stuff like breakfast is the most important meal of the day. No, it's not. In fact, I would suggest you skip breakfast, and research already states that, the longer you stay off your first meal, especially, and they call it intermittent fasting. There's 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of feeding. And, you keep your insulin in check, which is really great. So I don't have my first meal. I drink black coffee or black tea or water, and then by the time I have my first meal, it's about 1 o'clock. I try to stay as long as possible, and that's actually helped me because I have this bad habit of snacking while I'm watching Liverpool play. So usually I keep my calories for then. So whatever the case is, try to build to this. Let me give you an example. Okay, so we live very sedentary lifestyles. We are not our forefathers. Our forefathers used to walk and walk and walk and walk and walk, and they didn't have snacks. They didn't have fast food. They ate rice and chicken 2 times a day. They had bread in the morning and stuff like that. But you realize, most of them were very lean and stuff like that. I saw a documentary about Americans in the 50s, and they all were slim and nobody had a pouch. Fast forward 25 years and everybody's obese. So we have to change our activity. Be really sedentary. If you're working in the office, take the stairs. If you got, these days you got all this technology, and we are still going backwards. It's surprising. There's a tracker. I use a Garmin. You can walk if you're doing just track yourself. If you're doing 3,000 steps a day. No, it's sedentary. 10,000 steps is 7 km. If you can't do 10,000 steps, try to do 6,000 and slowly build from there. Every hour, just get up, walk 10 minutes, park further. Most people will be so healthy, but then when they go to reach the shopping mall, they want to park beside the elevator, and you know what I'm saying, right? All of us are like that. We try to park further. If you're working in an office, if you're on the 5th floor, try to take the stairs up and stuff like that, So this builds up because there's so many factors. I don't want to confuse you. There are calories in, calories out. How much calories you intake versus expenditure. There is NEAT, there is non-exercise activity where, it's fidgeting and stuff like that. And then there's a total daily energy expenditure, how much you move around and stuff like that. So many factors. But the key thing to remember about health is if you lose it, it's all over. Start now. Start now. Start walking a little bit more. Start being conscious about what you're eating. And most of the time, we are sort of influenced by our friends. You know what I mean? So I quit smoking about 10 years ago. I quit vaping about 4 years ago. It was tough. It was really tough, but the best thing that I've done is that, alcohol gone, out of my system many years ago. For me, my only vice is probably a nice ice cream once in a while. When Adam comes and visits and Liverpool wins, we have a Magnum or stuff like that. But yeah, occasionally it's fine. Apart from that, other than that, no. I keep it relatively simple. It's usually rice and chicken, rice and meat, or I have some bread with and some proteins. Keep your proteins up. Try, if you don't like the gym, some people just don't like the gym. They think that if you go to the gym, I don't want to look too big, I'll become Arnold Schwarzenegger. Nobody, you're not going to become Arnold Schwarzenegger. Those guys are super freaks, super genetics. But, if you don't like the gym, it's okay. Go hiking, do Muay Thai, do kickboxing, do any activity, but keep your health intact, okay? And advice is drink water every day for, 3 to 4 liters every day, just sip the water. The key factor I would say is that I use to keep my weight relatively in a safe zone is intermittent fasting. I don't eat, we've been conned by the cereal makers and all that, that breakfast is the healthiest meal of the day. This is all propaganda, guys. People talk to me about diets, the ketogenic diet, the Atkins diet, the carnivorous diet, the paleo diet, the vegans and the vegetarian and all that. Listen, the best diet is the diet that you can maintain, a sustainable diet. Do whatever you want as long as your calorie intake is less than your calorie expenditure. You're going to be losing weight consistently. Even if you lose 100 grams a day, a month you're losing 3 kilos. It's not about weight loss, it's about fat loss. And please understand this, I can lose 2 kilos in a day. How? I just have to stop eating carbs, because carbohydrates for every gram holds 3 grams of water also. So that's another thing that you should remember. Don't go on fat diets. Be consistent with your diets. Go for regular checkups. Ensure that you go for regular checkups. I was just talking to Adam's cameraman just now. He's 42 and I said, did you go for a checkup? And he went like that. I said, no, you haven't. Go and get your checkup done. Because you know why? God forbid, we are all afraid that we find something. You know what I'm saying. We're so afraid that we find something. But even if you find something, God forbid, you catch it early and you'll be safe. I had a friend who contracted MASH, who had lymphoma. I caught it early, and he's now in full remission. So congrats about that. I don't wish this on anybody, but your health, do not take it for granted, because in the end, after your friends come and visit you in the hospital and all those hampers end, you are on your own. And I do not want to be dependent on anybody. I am going to go out, God forbid, inshallah, I'm going to go out at probably 95 years old or 100, or, I'm going to outlive even Dr. Mahathir, and be healthy and probably lifting weights, going to the gym at 101 years old and looking at everybody, if you know what I mean. So stuff like that. So keep healthy. The next part of this is also very important, because the healthier you are able to achieve your dreams, your goals, your whatever, because my health enables me to do numerous things. People ask me, how do you do so many things at one time? You teach martial arts, you teach in the gym, you do a podcast, you consult a broadcast company, you write, you do this. So many other things I do. How? Because I've got great health, And this is not God-given. Yes, God has allowed me to pursue this, We cannot put this pressure on anybody else except us. It's hard. If you're 250 kilos, suddenly you think it's hard. But buddy, this is what I said about when I was talking about discipline. Start with the first thing. Start with number one. How do I have one proper meal a day? One good meal, instead of, how do I stop drinking soda and start drinking water? How do I walk from 2,000 steps to 2,500 steps a day? The final part to this is actually tracking. If you don't track, you don't know, So nothing to me is like, if you are not planning, if you're not writing down, it's like those days when I was a young boy. I remember when at 4 o'clock, I used to stay in this Rumah Panjang in Sentul, and then 4 o'clock we go and play football in the Ipoh Road, Padang Ipoh Road. Then, everybody says, oh, Masa Bang, you have to balik. There's the call for prayer, you have to balik. And I come back, I realize I don't know who won, because we were just playing. There's no goalpost. It is the same thing. You have to have a plan. You have to tell yourself, look, Jake, if I'm writing this down, it says, look, it's the 1st of January. By the 30th of January, I need to drop 2 kilos. And I'm going to drop 2 kilos. 31 days divided by 2 kilos is X amount of grams. It needs to be methodical, actually. I'm going to skip one meal here, skip one meal here, skip one meal there. Don't be so hard on yourself. Days will be up and down. But as long as you have the discipline, even 85% of the time, you stick to your plan, you're still winning. So I'm cheering you on. I want you to win. But most important, you can't win without great health. Even if you're starting at a very low base, start and slowly improve, because that is the hardest thing. Most people give up because they want to improve immediately. I want to have a six-pack now. Listen, for those of you who have never had a six-pack, listen, don't worry about it. You have a six-pack, you just can't see it. So it's like maybe 2% of the world's population have six pack, and out of that 1% have not eaten. So again, like I said, don't stress out. Focus on health, and God willing, this will take you and get you to achieve all these wonderful things you want to do. Because what I really want you to do is to have the ability to achieve your dreams. Okay, so again, buy the book if you haven't. And just a terrible plug for the book, www.bookofjake.my. It's really not much. It's only $39.90. I'll sign it for you, and keep listening to the podcast. I wish you the best. I wish that you strive for to create a better version of yourself. And thanks also, Adam, for these facilities. Okay, see you guys soon. Let me know what you think. Yeah.